Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. This time we are talking about one of my favorite underrated characters in Tokyo Ghoul, Misato Gori. Now, no one ever talks about this wonderful woman with one of the biggest tragedies in this story. And it's understandable because she has had very rare appearances in Tokyo Ghoul. She hasn't appeared at all in Tokyo Ghoul Ray, and she doesn't seem to be a big character, and I don't necessarily believe she is going to be a big character ever in this series. But there is something I do want to talk about her with regards to Misato. So first off, let's explain who is Misato Gori. Now, Gori, if you guys don't remember, she is one of the ghoul investigators in the CCG, but she rarely appeared in the story of Tokyo Ghoul. She only appeared a handful of times, and the biggest times that we saw her was in the arc before the Anteka raid, and in the Anteka raid arc, and at the end of Tokyo Ghoul itself, the original Tokyo Ghoul, not Tokyo Ghoul Raid. Interestingly enough, the last time we basically saw her, she was not convinced about the death of the quote-unquote death of Amon. As you remember, she was freaking out about Amon and everything like that, not really convinced that he had died or whatever. And then we saw her confronting Akira when Akira was being confronted by Takizawa and a bunch of other CCG members. And she was crying and whatnot, saying that she was basically blaming Akira because Amon died. And obviously Amon's not dead, but she didn't know this at the time. Now, this is the last time we saw Gori. We have never seen her again in Tokyo Ghoul Ray. Now, again, I don't think she is a vital character into the story, but why am I making a video on such a character who hasn't had almost any appearance in the story? Well, here's the thing. Misato is very well known to be in love with Amon. It's something that you see in her bio. It's something that you find out in one of actually a book in one of the Tokyo Ghoul novels, and it's just something that's predominantly known. If there's one thing you know about Gori, besides the fact that she's a very stern woman, very serious woman, if she needs to get something done, she will get it done. No questions asked or anything. But other than that, if there's one other thing you know about Misato, is that she was in love with Amon, and she really did love Amon. Now, here's the thing about that. Despite her not being in Tokyo Ghoul itself that much, having very minimal appearances in Tokyo Ghoul and no appearances at all in Tokyo Ghoul Re, she has appeared a lot in other forms of media that Ishida has published. For example, she actually, like I had mentioned before, she was actually in one of the stories in one of the Tokyo Ghoul books. It was the second book called Tokyo Ghoul Void. On chapter 5, there is a story that is about her and her cooking and how she's just a horrible cook, and she wanted to feed Amon some food, but knowing that none of the CCG members that have tried her food, they all got sick and everything, except for Takeomi's father was the only one who was able to withstand the food without getting sick, and so she was just trying to learn how to cook and everything like that so she could give some to Amon. And there's one instance there that you see her there. She's actually also appeared in the Tokyo Ghoul Trump. She appears as the 5 of Clubs card. And also, she has appeared several times in the calendar. In one of the instances, she appears here thinking she's like alone at some bar or something like that. She's thinking about some investigator. I don't think it's Amon. Can't really read the Japanese, but the second image here, you can see her trying to deliver a gift to Amon, but it seems like Valentine's Day, I'm assuming. Actually, it is Valentine's because the second. And Amon is receiving gifts. He has probably received gifts from many women. You can say he was a good-looking guy, and probably many women were attracted to him in the CCG. but she, was very shy and really never expressed her feelings towards him and everything like that, especially considering the fact that she was kind of manly in terms of her appearance and whatnot. Especially in the anime, they make her look very, very manly, but she looks very manly looking. So I guess she never kind of thought that she had any chance with Amon. But what makes me very, very interested in her character, is the fact that all you know about her is the fact that she is in love with Amon. That's really the only thing you know, besides her character. And here's the polarizing thing about her. She's a very stern, hardcore, like stone cold character. Like when it comes to killing ghouls and whatnot, she'll do what she has to do, in terms of getting the job done. No questions asked, no like what ifs, ins, ands, or buts. But considering that she's such a very stern character, such a very hard character, she's very vulnerable, because the one of the biggest things that she wants in her life is Amon, since she is in love with him. So she's very polarizing in that aspect, and I think it's something key to note about Misato, the fact that despite her character, she was very vulnerable in that she loved Amon and that she was in love with Amon. Now here's the most interesting fact about Misato that connects things to what I want to say. Misato's birthday is April 8th. Okay, that's Misato's birthday. She's actually looking very elegant there. It's a great picture of Ishida. There's also another calendar post. I forgot to post it here, but it's one with her and Kyoko. It's another very, very beautiful picture by Ishida in the calendar. But anyways, this is Misato's birthday. Misato's birthday is on April 8th. Guess whose birthday is on the day before Misato's birthday? Guess who it is? You probably already know. It's Amon. Amon's birthday is on April 7th, the day before Misato's birthday. That's just another connection you can relate Misato to Amon. Another very interesting thing about Amon is, if you look at the picture in the calendar, Amon's wearing the Arata armor. The only instance in which we ever saw Amon with the Arata armor was when he fought Kaneki. So it's either a portrait of when he was wearing the Arata armor during the fight with Kaneki, or, here's the thing, which I've always believed. I never really said it before, but I've always believed. What if Amon, right now in Tokyo Ghoul, still wears the Arata armor? Like it's imbued into his body. I think that would be a very interesting take on his armor. Like it becomes like he fuses with it, I don't know, but I just wanted to throw that out there. But here's the thing, with this connection here, and with us knowing about Misato's personality, her vulnerability against Amon, it's highly, highly likely. Now, there's a chance that it's not true, but it's highly, highly likely that Misato, the reason why she hasn't appeared at all in Tokyo Ghoul is the same reason Amon is in the CCG in Tokyo Ghoul. She joined Amon. She went to find Amon, and she joined Amon. Do I think she's a ghoul or half ghoul or anything like that? What Amon is? Not necessarily. Maybe, but not necessarily. But considering the fact that she would basically do anything for Amon, since she loves him so much, she would become a ghoul for Amon, and if that means getting closer to Amon, you know what I mean? So most likely she is with Amon right now in Tokyo Ghoul, and that's why we haven't seen her at all. Maybe we might get some confrontation between her and Akira, because she didn't like Akira at all. She was jealous because Akira was always with Amon, and Amon probably still has some kind of feelings for Akira. Maybe, I don't know. And this might be something that Misato notices and decides she's going to take care of Akira before Amon can do anything. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. I don't think so. And there's still a chance that she is part of the CCG. She's just maybe off duty or something. I don't know. Who knows? But just seeing these connections here and knowing the kind of person that Misato probably is, it would not surprise me if she is with Amon now, in terms of what Amon is doing in his group or whatever. But not just only that about about her in terms of just her character. I just think it's interesting to look at the human aspect of, like, Gori is willing to do anything for, in my opinion, at least in my opinion, the way I see Gori, she's willing to do anything to be with Amon, despite the fact that he was a ghoul, you know. But if there was just, if there was coexistence, we wouldn't have had to worry about none of this. Like, you know, you wouldn't have to worry about none of this, and I think it would have just been easier. But because of the story being there, things just have to go this way, right? But I just thought it was interesting to point out there. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, folks. Misato Gori, one of the most underrated characters. Hopefully she gets some time with Amon, at least something to fulfill her dreams or whatever. But hopefully she didn't kill herself or anything. That would suck. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about Misato Gori. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about Misato herself, and what do you think she's up to, if you think she's still alive, if she's with Amon, and what do you think about Amon? Would he accept her? Do you think he's actually still wearing the Arata armor? And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.